Course of that road trip as you were getting closer and closer to being game ready?
Yeah, I think it's always you get a little bit impatient there at the end, but I was just happy to be on the road with the guys. I was wondering if they were going to bring me, so fun to be a part of it and be around. Obviously, a little bit of a tough trip for us, but I felt like we kind of came around there a little bit at the end. So excited to be back with the guys in the lineup tonight.
Sometimes when an injury occurs, it is not obvious, but that hit that you took from Connor Dewar in the Pittsburgh game, you looked uncomfortable. Did you know something was amiss right after the hit, or was it the next morning when you woke up?
No, I knew right away. I think it was my last shift of the game. I don't know if it was Dewar. I thought it was a Chari, to be honest with you. But just kind of one of those plays that just a weird hit, and yeah, I mean it's nothing too crazy, but sometimes that's how our game is. Obviously, it happens pretty quick out there. So no, I knew pretty much right away.
Morgan, now that you guys are getting back to a healthy lineup, what do you think the focus is of getting everyone going?
Yeah, I think we've obviously had lots of guys kind of coming in and out, and obviously a few guys there who didn't even start the season and have worked their way back in. So I think as everyone gets more comfortable, you're obviously playing with different guys, but you want to be able to settle in at least a little bit and just kind of be able to read off each other a little bit. And I think, especially the offensive side of our game, I think we all know what we have to clean up defensively, but I think that'll go a long way kind of in the offensive zone, just kind of knowing where each other are.
Are you at a point right now, Morgan, where the season starts now that you've got kind of your A lineup in for the first time, I think, all year? Is this kind of where the season starts for you guys, like now?
No, I mean, I think there's injuries all throughout, throughout the league, and yeah, we're pretty close to healthy right now, but I'm sure there'll be more injuries moving forward. So, especially with this condensed schedule this year, I think that's going to kind of be a big thing for teams trying to push into the playoffs. Is when guys are out, you got to make the most of it and still find ways to come up with points. So, definitely want to take advantage of the games where we are fully healthy, but they all count 2 points whether you're healthy or not.
As someone who's kind of built their way into being a regular on the lineup, what do you think it did for kind of some of those guys that were sent down to the Moose to have those number of games at the beginning of the season?
Yeah, I mean it's tough to break into the league. I think about trying to break into New York was kind of where I started, and I think that was a team that was trying to compete. We're obviously a team that's trying to compete and kind of an older group, so it can be really difficult. You're kind of getting games here or there. Obviously, kind of depends on injuries, things like that. But just for them to get in, I think we all saw flashes of what they can do individually and how they can contribute to our team. So it was really fun having them around. Really enjoyed kind of getting to know them all a little bit more, and obviously I think they all have a future in this league. So it'll be good for them to go down and play, and then I think once we do see them again, we'll see kind of that next step that they're going to take.
There's long been this sort of adage in hockey that a team after a long road trip, the first game back at home can be a tough one. I don't know why that, if that's true, and is that something you guys as a group almost address or focus on?
No. I think for us it's another game, and that may be true. I'm not sure what maybe the numbers say about it, but we try to kind of approach every game without putting aside, I guess, the excuses, whether you're on the back end of a long road trip like we were there the last few games, or coming home. Again, with the schedule, it always seems like there's a reason or an excuse to be tired or an excuse to come out flat, but ultimately the teams that are going to kind of end up toward the top of the standings are going to be the teams that kind of put that aside. So we'll try to do that.
Because you were able to play the first 12 games, Morgan, do you think it gives you a little bit more of a leg up than, say, the challenges that Adam and Dylan and Cole had with the stretch that they were out for?
Yeah, I'd like to think so. I mean, that's really difficult what those guys have done, right? Like, it's almost hard to appreciate, I think, from the outside, but just not being in a game for that extended period of time, over the whole summer, and then, we were talking about it the other day during the game with some of the other guys who weren't playing, like, the fact that when we started in the preseason, you kind of have this ramping up period and everyone around you is also going through the same thing versus those guys kind of came in and everyone else is going full speed and is kind of already ramped up. So it's been great to see. I think they've all been great since they've come back in, but obviously they'll continue to build, I think, and get more comfortable. So hopefully my curve is a little bit quicker.